What is up, Golden Family? Miner here, and today we are going to be ranking Five Nights at Freddy's jump scares on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how scary they are. Let's not waste any more time, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First one we got is Chica. Honestly, this is the first jump scare I've ever gotten in my life, and I gotta say, it's actually quite chilling. First off, the fact that she just gradually moves her head as she just stares at you with those cold dead eyes, it's freaking terrifying, and honestly, I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Next one is Bonnie. Honestly, I don't really see why anybody would find this scary. He's just moving his mouth up and down. It's not that scary. I'm still a little bit shocked that Scott found this one to be the scariest one. He had multiple nightmares. Maybe it's the fact that he doesn't have eyebrows. I'm not so sure. So I'm gonna have to give Bonnie's jump scare a 5 out of 10. Okay, next is Foxy. Honestly, Foxy is my boy, and sorry Foxy, but your jump scare is just not scary. He's just all like, sup, bruh. Honestly, Foxy, that is kind of lame, but your design is pretty creepy, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, 6 out of 10. Next is Freddy. This one actually has 2 jump scares. I'm gonna rank both of these two separately, but all the ones from this point onward, we're going to rank together. The first jump scare is actually legitimately creepy. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. But the second one, I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 because it's just not as good. Next one is Golden Freddy. Honestly, the fact that he just stares at you with that loud roar, that's actually freaking terrifying. I mean, just imagine it just staring directly at you. And not to mention the fact that it doesn't actually kill you in the game, it just crashes your game. So 10 out of 10, Golden Freddy is probably the scariest out of all the OGs. Next is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. First one we got is Withered Freddy. Yeah, that's not scary at all. It just looks like he's just talking to the camera. Hey kids, welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Yeah, 5 out of 10. Next is Withered Chica. Honestly, this one is slightly scarier than Withered Freddy in my opinion, because her eyes are a lot more piercing and her jaw is broken, so I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. Pizza. Next is Withered Bonnie. Honestly, the fact that he's reaching up to grab your face is a little bit scary because I think he's trying to steal the Freddy mask that we use, so I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. Next is Withered Foxy, and in this version he's accompanied by Balloon Boy. Sweet. Terrifying. Honestly, the fact that Foxy just jumps out at you is kind of scary, so I'm going to give him a solid 9 out of 10, not to mention the fact that Withered Foxy is a little bit more chilling, in my opinion, than normal Foxy. That's pretty cool. Next is Toy Freddy. Honestly, I hate this jump scare. I really don't like this character, so sorry, Toy Freddy. 2 out of 10. Next is Toy Bonnie. Honestly, Toy Bonnie's is a little bit better, but it's not as good. It's not very good, so I'm going to give it about a 4 out of 10. Next is Toy Chica's. I'm going to say that this is a little bit better because she's missing her eyes and mouth. Even though it is a little bit similar to Toy Bonnie, it is still better, so I'm going to give her about a 5 out of 10. Next is Mangle. Honestly, the fact that she comes down and bites down on your head for the jump scare is freaking horrifying, so I'm going to give her a 10 out of 10. That's scary. Next is Golden Freddy. Not very good. Honestly, I think I prefer the Golden Freddy from the first game. I feel like his jump scare was more scary. This one, the head just comes at you rather than it being in your face already. 5 out of 10. It's about half as good as the original. Next is the puppet. Yeah, anybody who finds the puppet scary, just a big baby. I mean, I guess he's a little bit creepy. I'll give him a 5 out of 10, I guess. We're just gonna go through the Phantoms relatively quickly. I'm gonna give them all a 2 out of 10 because none of them are scary and they all don't kill you, so yeah. But next is Springtrap, and honestly, back in the day, they did hate Springtrap's jump scare, and that was what resulted in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. But honestly, Springtrap is just all hey, you got the Wi-Fi password? Pathetic. 4 out of 10. Next is Nightmare Bonnie. Now, here's a bit of a hot take. In my opinion, the Nightmare animatronics are not scary, but Nightmare Bonnie is pretty chilling, so I'm going to give him a solid, 5 out of 10. Next is the Nightmare Cupcake. Wow. I can't name a single person who can look at me with a straight face and say that this thing is terrifying. It's not scary. Next is Nightmare Chica. Now, fun fact, this was actually the first Nightmare animatronic to ever jump scare me. And it's pretty creepy. I mean, she's very torn up and has 3 rows of teeth as well as dual colored eyes, which is pretty cool. That's actually very metal. But this it's probably the scariest one out of all of them, so I'm going to put her at 10 out of 10. Next is Nightmare Foxy. Honestly, Nightmare Foxy never really scared me, so I'll give him like a 7 out of 10. He's pretty creepy. Next is Nightmare Freddy. Now his jump scare is pretty scary, but it's not that scary. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Okay, now these two I'm going to match up together since they're a tag team in Ultimate Custom Night. We got Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare. I'm putting these two together because they have pretty similar designs. Nightmare is pretty scary in the game. Like, he crashes your game kind of like Golden Freddy. But like, Nightmare Fredbear is like his partner in crime. As a tag team, they're pretty freaking terrifying, so I'll give them a 10 out of 10. Next is Plush Trap. Negative 1 out of 10. Next is the Jacko-Matronics. This one includes Jacko Bonnie, the Pumpkin, and Jacko Chica. Honestly, I already said that Jacko Chica was one of the scariest ones in there. So pair that with the freaking hellish Inferno that's inside of her. I'd say that this trio earns itself a respectable 9.5 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. Nightmare Mangle, I mean, it's scarier than Nightmare Foxy, I'll give her that. So I'll give her probably like a 7 out of 10. A Nightmare Puppet, honestly, honestly, actually, I take back what I said about the puppet earlier. Nightmare Puppet's actually kind of creepy. And I'm pretty sure they crash your game like Nightmare, so I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. Next is Nightmare Balloon Boy. He's a little bit creepy, I guess. But he's not really scary, so I guess like a 4 out of 10. Next is Sister Location. First is Biddy Bab. I've always hated Biddy Bab's jump scare. 2 out of 10, not scary. Next is Ballora. Ballora's jump scare is freaking terrifying. I'm gonna give her an 8 out of 10. Next is Funtime Freddy. Honestly, his jump scare is not really scary. It just looks really cool, so I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Next is Funtime Foxy. His is actually pretty scary. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Next is Bonbon. Not scary at all. Actually kind of adorable. So I guess like a 1 out of 10. Next is the Mini Rena. Actually very creepy, but not really scary. So 6 out of 10. This is 4 that we're going to pair up together. We got all 4 of Ennard's jump scares. Honestly, Ennard's design is very creepy, and I feel like that having 4 jump scares, which is probably the most in the entire franchise up to this point, I'm going to say that it earns him a respectable 9.5 out of 10. One more character from Sister Location. We got Lulbit. Honestly, Funtime Foxy, if you're watching this video, teach your girlfriend how to jump scare, please. 2 out of 10. Not scary. Next is Molten Freddy. Now, Molten Freddy, that's terrifying. Not to mention the fact that he comes from Ennard, so I'm going to give him about an 8 out of 10. Next is Scrap Trap. Bruh. Afton, get your freaking peanut head looking self out of here. Negative 1 out of 10. He is not scary. Next is Lefty. Honestly, Lefty is kind of creepy, and he's possessed by the puppet, so there's that too. So I'm going to give him about an 8 out of 10. Next is Scrap Baby. You guys already know Scrap Baby is my favorite character in the series, so I'm going to, in terms of fear factor, I'm going to give her about an 8 out of 10. She is pretty scary, but she's not very scary. You know what I mean, guys. So we're going to skip through Ultimate Custom Night, FNAF Help Wanted, and FNAF AR, mainly because they all feature the same characters. And we're just going to jump straight to Security Breach. First one we got is Chica. First 2 jump scares, not very scary, but this last jump scare right here is actually horrifying. First 2 will probably be like a 2 out of 10. She's not very scary, but this other design right here, her shattered form, I think that's what it's called. I don't remember. It's actually very scary because like her eyes are 2 different directions, and it's like, wow. You know, and not to mention the fact that she lost her voice box, so she's just like screeching in your face. Next is Monty Gator. Honestly, you know, okay. Whoa, okay. Alright. Okay, first jump scare, like a 2 out of 10. He's just biting at the air. Second jump scare, he jumped at you, so that's pretty scary. Solid freaking 8 out of 10 there. Third jump scare, I'll give the benefit of the doubt because he does look a little bit scary with his shattered form. So I'm going to give him about a 4 out of 10 because he's still biting at the air at this point, but he looks pretty scary in his shattered form. Next is Mommy Roxy. Ayo! First jump scare, yeah, she just looks like she's trying to kiss us. Not really scary, so like a 2 out of 10. Second form, she's like actually charging at us and she looks freaking pissed. So I'm probably gonna have to bump it to a 4 out of 10. Her last form in this game, she charges at you, she's freaking missing her eyes and she looks freaking demonic. Freaking 8 out of 10 there, holy crap. Okay, next is Freddy. He has 2 different types of jump scares in this compilation, so I'm going to have to give him like a 4 out of 10 for both because he's Freddy, okay? He's not gonna do anything, okay? Glamrock Freddy is our friend. Next is Sun, and not really much of a jump scare, he's just cringe. 2 out of 10. Next is Moon. Honestly, Moon's face is pretty creepy, and he's doing that with his fingers, which is honestly kind of creepy. So I'm gonna have to give him an 8 out of 10. Mainly because those fingers make you think he's gonna do something. But I do want to bring up that Moon is better than Sun because, like I said earlier, Sun's cringe. Next is Vanessa. Honestly, Vanessa's human, so her jump scare, honestly, it's not that scary. I mean, I'll admit she's pretty and her eyes are green. I'll give her like a 5 out of 10. She's all right, I guess. Now, Vanny, on the other hand, this jump scare here is actually kind of scary. I mainly say that because of the fact that imagine having this freaking tall rabbit lady chase after you just to pick you up and dance with you in her arms before killing you right there. 8 out of 10. Pretty creepy. Next is the staff bot jump scares. Honestly, I kind of have mixed opinions about this because sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's just cringe. Like take a look at this, guys. Here's an example of a scary one. Here's an example of a cringe one.
Hi, please take this map.
Here's another example of a scary one. Here's another example of a cringe one. See what I mean? I'll give these guys a 5 out of 10 since, you know, it's in the middle, you know what I mean? Next is the endoskeleton. It's alright, I guess. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Next is the mini music man. Not really scary. Not really. He's just like clapping his cymbals at you, so I'll give him like a 2 out of 10, I guess. Next is DJ Music Man. Honestly, he literally eats you here. That's freaking terrifying. I'm giving him a 10 out of 10. Next is the Blob. Honestly, I can see why people would find this one scary. I don't really see it as scary. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. 2 more, guys. There are this one it's an invisible man attacking. 2 out of 10. No, not even that. 0 out of 10 since there's nothing there. And this last one I wanted to include because it was interesting. It was Vanessa with like sharp teeth. What the hell? That's pretty creepy. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. That's pretty scary. Whew. That's right, guys. We made it through all the jump scares. If you made it to this point, make sure to comment the word jump scare. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, how about you consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the like button? And also don't forget to ring the bell. Remember, we're trying to hit 5,000 subs soon, so if you could help us out with that, that'd be great. Also, don't forget to join the Patreon and Discord server linked in the video's description. We'll also leave this video linked in the video's description. Go check it out for yourself. There are a lot of other jump scares we couldn't include in this video. And yeah, if you were ever curious on what the phone guy's true identity was, we'll leave that video right there, as well as one that was specifically chosen by YouTube for you guys. We'll also leave a playlist right there, as well as a button to subscribe to their channel. And as always, guys, this is Miner signing off for now. I love every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome, and we will see you guys next time.